Hi, how are you? Hope everyone is doing well during this insane time. Let's talk about backlogs. You know, the unfathomable list that every gamer has where it just keeps growing and growing until it becomes so big of a problem that you can't ignore it, but then you choose to ignore it anyway. You know, that list. Well, I hope you have that list ready to go because you're gonna need it in 2020. If you only play the first-party Nintendo games, that is. If you haven't heard the news or seen a YouTuber complain about it yet, thank you for letting me be your first. Current rumors suggest Nintendo will skip a June Direct this year due to the current work-at-home situation. VentureBeat, the site who first reported the claim, states, Nintendo is telling partner developers that it is not holding one of its Nintendo Direct video events in June. VentureBeat continues, if it holds another Direct, it may not come until the very end of summer. Translation? Don't expect a major Nintendo first-party announcement anytime soon, if at all, in 2020. Now, the response to this news has been mixed. Or rather, people are arguing with each other about how they should feel. Never change, internet, never change. On one side, fans are disappointed that they won't hear any news in June, but they understand the current world situation, basically that Nintendo has their hands tied behind their backs. On the other hand, you have those special individuals who won't quite see the full picture beyond getting what they want. They shame Nintendo for doing nothing beyond a mini direct, failing to understand that working from home is not the same as working from the office. The tools Nintendo employees have at home pale in comparison to what they have in the office. At least I imagine that's the case. Hey, do you mind if I take home our highly classified documents and hardware? I promise to take good care of it, and I dropped it. I'm fired, aren't I? Their ability to produce at the normal rate is not there, leading to longer development time.
Yeah, how dare you show disappointment? You have to be happy and accept everything all the time without question.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. We are human after all. Disappointment and anger are normal. Besides, I agree that 2020 does look disappointing for Nintendo, outside of Animal Crossing and Xenoblade. But there needs to be balance in how we react. Try to be sympathetic to the situation at large. There are people working at Nintendo who share in your same disappointment, but their safety comes first. If that means a longer development time, so be it. In short, it's okay to feel sad sometimes. Wait, no. That's not what I want to say. It's okay to feel disappointed. Just understand what Nintendo and their employees are going through and why this unforeseen change is needed. And if anybody tries to shame you for feeling disappointed and you're being rational about that, pay them no mind. They're doing it for clout anyway. So why are we hearing about this delay now and not when the epidemic first started? Technically we did during the Direct Mini, but that was more of a just-in-case moment. No one knew if by this time life would be back to normal. Some said a few weeks, others said months. Before you know it, 2020 is entirely canceled. Remember during the new year when people called 2020 the year of reflection? Well, we have plenty of time to reflect now. I'm sure Nintendo was also taking a wait-and-see approach before officially announcing delays within the company. Reason number 2, Japan recently issued a more serious stay-at-home order, declaring a state of emergency for most areas in Japan. Before this, Japan didn't quite take the stay-at-home suggestion all too seriously, with some people still traveling outside in large groups to see the cherry blossoms, going to the beach, or even walking around famously crowded Shibuya. I mean, look, America has plenty of their own problems to worry about, but the overall feel in Japan towards the end of March was, we're good. We got this under control. But that wasn't quite the case. Fast forward a month, Prime Minister Abe issues a state of emergency.
Are you about to go into Japanese politics and current events? Because that's not what I signed up for.
You're right, I probably should save this for my future Aho Gaikokujin channel. If I missed the mark or inaccurately depicted the situation in Japan right now, please correct me. This is all information that I got from NHK, NPR, and other sources that I believe to be accurate, but maybe I'm misinterpreting. My point with all this is Nintendo of Japan might have expected to be back in the office by this point, but now that nearly all of Japan is working from home, Nintendo is preparing for an inevitable slower pace for game development. But at the very least, let's be glad Nintendo employees are working safe at home, together with their families, pets, or figurines. Remember, families come in all shapes and sizes, even plastic. Understanding Nintendo's situation does help lighten the blow, but it doesn't change the fact that there are only a few games to look forward to beyond Xenoblade in 2020.
How dare you!
Look, I'm just stating the facts, people. 2020 is practically a lost cause at this point, until potentially the holiday season. But I'm not getting my hopes up, nor am I demanding Nintendo overwork their employees from home. If it wasn't for the current pandemic, I'm sure Nintendo would have released their plans for late 2020 by now. Or, well, at E3. Speaking of E3, did you hear about the new event Jeff Keighley announced? Summer Game Fest. Basically a summer-long E3 type event. No words on exact details, but some big-name publishers and developers have already climbed aboard. Sony, Square Enix, Xbox, Bethesda, big names. Nintendo is really the biggest on mission as of right now, but what if Nintendo sees this as a way to replace their delayed E3 Direct? Now, I'm not saying this will replace future E3 events for sure, although it's not looking good for E3. But if Nintendo still wants a venue to announce their titles this year similar to E3, Summer Game Fest seems like a viable option. That said, Nintendo will always operate at their my pace mentality, so who knows what we'll see or when we'll see it next. Thankfully, there are a couple of beacons of hope for Nintendo in 2020. Sakurai recently stated in a Famitsu article that development for Smash DLC is going well, and that his team is proceeding without issue. With that in mind, I think we can expect the ARMS fighter in the summer, just like they said in the Direct Mini, so at least that's something. The other beacon is more of a wish, the Mario 35th Anniversary Collection rumor. Again, VentureBeat broke this story about Nintendo working to bring remastered 3D Mario games to the Switch in one package, plus porting Super Mario 3D World. Had 2020 not been plagued with a horrible virus, Mario would have supposedly taken over 2020 in the later half, even if the games are remasters and ports. However, there's no indication these Mario games can't be announced later in summer for a fall or holiday release. Actually, I'd be shocked if they were pushed back to 2021, even with the stay-at-home order. Granted, the whole Mario thing is just a rumor, but a heavily backed up rumor, so I think it's fair to get your hopes up ever so slightly. Then again, you can never know for sure with Nintendo until Nintendo themselves says it. Oh yeah, and there's also the Pokemon DLC, which we really haven't heard anything since the Direct Mini, so hopefully that's going well.
That's great and all, but those are updates or ports of already existing games. Where are the new titles? Where's Paper Mario, WarioWare, Metroid, Breath of the Wild 2, Waluigi's Haunted Hospital? I need the new games now.
Sorry, but you're not going to hear about new titles for a while yet. That said, Nintendo is not going to avoid announcing new titles altogether, just delaying them. In a similar report, Eurogamer stated, the expectation is that Nintendo reveals will now come late in the summer, closer to Mario's 35th anniversary in September. This is all rumors at this point, but I think it's safe to say Nintendo made plans for 2020. Now it all depends on when Nintendo feels ready to reveal them. Of course, I'm not expecting mind-blowing game announcements anytime soon. Instead, I'm looking forward to what we know is coming,
Xenoblade?
and playing the games we already have. Which brings us back to the backlog. Whether you impulse buy games on Steam, fail to pick up every game released during the holidays, or were too young to even pick up a controller when legendary games released, every gamer has a backlog. If you're a JRPG fan, your list is probably the worst.
You didn't have to call them out like that. Ouch.
I know everyone watching this has at least one game you regret not playing. It just sits there on your shelf, mocking you for buying it, knowing full well you wouldn't pick it up for months. For me, that's Dragon Quest XI. Although my excuse for that, it's a Christmas gift, so I didn't pay for it. But maybe that makes it worse, that I haven't played it yet. Yes, I still haven't touched it. Forgive me! But if summer comes around and I have my fill of Xenoblade and Animal Crossing, like that's gonna happen, Dragon Quest XI will be the first game I pick up. Well, that's also Hat in Time, and I still want to play that. Or maybe I'll just play more Three Houses. If Animal Crossing hasn't consumed your soul, or if Xenoblade isn't your cup of tea, look for already released games you haven't played and give them a shot. Who knows, you might find a new favorite series. Again, I'm not saying you can't be disappointed in the lack of new games this year. Rather, I'm encouraging you to get through the drought by playing what's already there. Then again, if nothing interests you, I hear figurines are a great hobby. Thank you so much for watching! What game from your backlog do you look forward to playing? What are your thoughts on 2020? I would love to hear them. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm not sure why I chose to talk about this in particular, but here we are. I hope this helped some people in any way. I guess it was more of a rant vent for me, but I appreciate you watching. And if you like this, please share it with your friends. After this video, I'll probably do an Animal Crossing video, working on the script right now. And then a week before Xenoblade comes out, I'll have another Xenoblade video. And then it's Waifu Battle Royale, unless something else happens. We'll see. especially with no E3 in June. I think I'll fill the void with Three Houses Waifu Battle Royale. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, you good people. To be honest, guys, Animal Crossing might last me the whole year. Why is this game so addicting?